You've had a close relationship with Crooked Eye, King Crooked, right?
He literally just texted me.
And the circle of bosses. How did that relationship come about?
It's also a really good part of my book. So, Crooked Eye is an example where I was hitting his manager, Kino, which he also manages Royce, for shows, features, the whole nine.
Wait, Kino is his solo manager or the Slaughterhouse manager?
Used to be the Slaughterhouse manager, Royce solo, and Crooked Eye solo. Okay? So I make Kino like 10 grand on the course of like 4 or 5 deals. And this last deal we do, I pay him because I need Crooked Eye to do a verse and a hook. And I pay him accordingly. Kino, a few days later, sends me back to Crooked Eye track, and it's just the verse. And I'm like, dude, I paid for a verse and a hook. And he said, oh, Crook doesn't do hooks. And I'm like, you didn't tell me that when you took my motherfucking money. I'm like, I need a portion of that money back to give back to the client. And he's like, no, like I already spent it. I'll just hook you up on the next deal. And that rubbed me insanely wrong. Okay. I mean, as it would anyone. Like that's literally textbook bad business. But there's hilarious shit in the Kino chapter as well. One time I got a girl to blow him for payment. That was funny. I was having Crook do a verse in one of our studio sessions, and Kino's like, well, that's enough money for Crook, but what about me? And I'm like, I didn't have any extra money. So I just had this girl I was with. I was like, come with us to the studio. And we took him in the back room and just occupied him while Crook was doing work.
Wait a minute.
And maybe go get the job done one way or the other, brother.
You remember Kino was married to, what's her name? That worked at the Source. She ended up... You know what I'm talking about. She was on the Math Hoffa podcast. What is her name?
Again, I don't watch this shit, dude. I live the shit. I watched every one of the segments you made about our shit. But okay, so Kino, after that, I called Crook and I told him what happened. I said, if it's okay with you, I would like to run all my business for you through you personally. He's like, that's totally fine with me. I understand. I'll talk to Kino about it.
Wait, M80. Yeah. Kim Osario. That's who he was married to.
I still don't know who that is.
What? All right, never mind. Go ahead.
Osario?
Kim Osario. She was a writer for the Source magazine. No? Oh.
Right. Maybe she could get a job with All Hip Hop and talk about how I'm not capable of making records that I come up with in my head. Hey. So literally, Kino shot himself in the foot in the most egregious manner possible because I've literally gone on to make Crook $500,000 to $1 million. And I didn't have to fucking pay Kino a fucking dime.
Wow.
And Kino's chapter is more about, it starts off talking about that shit, but also the fact that he tried to prevent me from getting some work done with Royce. And I didn't have a direct line for Royce, and him and Crook fell out. And my friend Ty Ferris put me in touch with Royce, and he's like, wait, what? You need me to do what? For how much? Bro, send that money. I'll do that shit right now and knock it out in a day. But Kino had snaked Royce on a business deal, and apparently what I wanted Royce to do would have violated whatever Kino agreed to. But Kino like underhandedly took more money and didn't tell Royce about it. So I caused a bunch of internal friction between the two of them, and then they're both mad at me. Royce isn't mad, but he's just like, has to live with the fact that your fucking manager's a snake. But I already knew that shit. I mean, you snaked me for like an extra $750. Like, and that literally helped put hundreds of thousands of dollars on my table. Like, thanks. Kino, thank you. Thank you very much for doing that. And one time Kino was like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up when I see you. And I was on my other phone. I was Googling his shit. And I was like, oh, do you want me to come visit you at this address? And he's like, it was like his house. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, matey? I'm like, stop fucking with me.
If you remember, Kino was the reason why the issue with Royce and Dr. Dre happened. You remember?
No.
Yeah, because Kino had said in a magazine or something like that he has witnessed Eminem sit Dr. Dre down like a pupil and stuff like that, and it caused a problem, and that's why Royce ended up leaving that camp the first time around.
Huh. Kino's cousin is Law the Dark Man.
Oh,
So
really?
Law had to tell Kino, like, yo, don't fuck with M80. Like, you did some dumb shit and you're yelling, you're laughing out at M80, but really it's because of the dumb shit you did. Stop doing that. And like, you can't, again, you're not going to fuck me over. And I don't understand why these people think they can or even want to go down that path with me. Or you could do good business with me for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So literally, Kino stealing $750 from me helped me make at least an extra $250,000 in my lifetime. So really, I got nothing against the guy. I should send him a thank you card with like an edible arrangement.
So the relationship with Crooked eventually led to you guys working with Shady Records Camp, right? Like, because you ended up.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was already in place. Crook, when I started working with Crook in like 2008, and he was on Slaughterhouse was already a thing. Slaughterhouse was not signed to Shady then; they were signed to E1. But remember, the whole Eminem connection comes from Royce and Kino.
Because you ended up A&Ring a song on the Shady 15 album, right?
Psychopath Killer.
Oh, that one?
And I worked on Music to Be Murdered By on the song I Will.
Right.
You want to hear something crazy, though? Crooked Eye invited me to Detroit for what was supposed to be like one of the final sessions of the Slaughterhouse, the Blasphemous album, the one that didn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he calls me the morning of, and he's like, "Yo, dude, I think like we're gonna change the date of the recording. Like, if you don't really want to be there, like, don't come. 'Cause I don't know who's gonna show up." So he kind of like convinced me into not going. Well, I'm like, all right. So I stayed at home, and then he called me throughout the week, and he's like, "Dude, like it's just me and Roy. Like Joel didn't come, Joe didn't come." So he said him and Royce did a whole album together. But that was the beginning of the end for Slaughterhouse, because when half the group didn't show up, M's like, "Fuck this shit." So I was glad that I was not there to see that. You know, you don't want to be like the fucking fly on the wall. Like I've been in rooms where like I got picked on just for being there, for like being like, "Why are you here?" You know, and that would have been one of those situations.
Yeah, that's a sad situation, man. I love Slaughterhouse so much, and it was bad the way that it went out.
Crook asked me recently, like, "Do you think we could sell the album?" And I'm like, no, it would not be worth the legal headache.
The Glass House album?
Yeah.
Wow.